So as far as your tropics, we're going to start there because there's a possibility for some development in the Gulf of Mexico. We do have a disturbance that we're watching right now to the east of the Florida Peninsula coast, but eventually it's going to make its way across Florida as we head into tomorrow, and then it's going to push into the Gulf of Mexico as we work our way on into our midweek time frame. There is about a 40% moderate chance for development there over the next several days, so we have to watch it closely. Here's a look at it with the infrared imagery. And also, as you can see, we have some wind kind of showing up here. There's definitely a counterclockwise spin. Hurricane hunters will go and investigate this tomorrow to see if they have a closed circulation. Right now, the low is relatively broad, and a lot of the thunderstorm activity is kind of displaced from the center of where the looks to be core of it is, but regardless, as it moves over land, is going to be interrupted as well, and then eventually is going to push into the Gulf. So what we're looking at here is an area of spin. Again, this shows what we have. Again, the area of tightest circulation. Again, it's non-tropical as of now, but it's a forecast model view, and it's showing that as we work our way on Tuesday, that little area of spin is going to cross over Florida. By Wednesday, it's going to push into the Gulf, and look how the red is kind of displaced. It's a bit broad. So we're going to see how close to the coastline this disturbance will kind of track. The closer to the coast, it'll be more disturbed, and maybe it may not develop at all. But as it sits over the Gulf of Mexico, if the core stays over the warm waters, well, there's a good possibility it could strengthen. And the National Hurricane Center is saying there is a chance it could become a tropical depression at the least over the next couple of days. This is a Thursday view, and then eventually it's going to make its way inland. But the question is, again, how strong will it become? Will it become tropical at all? But regardless, it is going to be a big rainmaker for the south, including our neck of the woods. There's a possibility for quite a bit of rain, especially by the end of the week, depending on the track of this. So this is the potential for flash flooding. We're sitting on the lower end, potential for flash flooding on Thursday. Same for Friday, but you see how it kind of extends a little bit farther inland with the higher threat for flash flooding across portions of Louisiana and the southern Mississippi coast. So again, that's something we're going to watch closely. But regardless, between the next couple of days, locally, our real issue will be the heat. We're going to have that heat dome just kind of sitting over the area. So for tomorrow, we're expecting highs in the mid 90s, mid to upper 90s for Wednesday for highs. A little cooler on Thursday as again that rain starts to move in, but with the humidity, it's going to feel like it's about 105, 108 tomorrow, and it has the potential to feel like it's about that range, maybe even hotter by Wednesday. So we're going to be monitoring the potential for maybe some heat alerts. Regardless, pay attention to your body. There could be some heat dangers like heat exhaustion or heat stroke if you're not being careful in the heat. And again, the left, you're looking at the symptoms for heat exhaustion. The right, the symptoms for heat stroke. If you notice anything on the right, make sure that you call 911. Right now, though, it's in the widespread 70s out there. There could be some dense patchy fog overnight. Lows will bottom into the low 70s. And here's that 10-day forecast at 10. Again, the heat is on the next couple of days. Be careful, especially if you work outside. And then again, first alert, we're going to be watching Thursday and Friday specifically. And really throughout this week, we'll see what happens with that disturbance. Again, non-tropical for now, east of Florida. But once it gets in the Gulf, that water is warm diamond and conditions are favorable for it to develop. It just depends on how close to land it actually can stay. If it's closer, then there's less of a chance it'll be tropical, but still we're expecting quite a bit of rain by the end of the week. But we'll keep you all posted.